In a deal that's going to affect millions of Americans, Charter Communications proposed a three-way merger with Time Warner Cable and Bright House Networks. So joining us now to talk about this cable landscape, Tuna Amobi, senior analyst over at S&P Capital IQ. And Tuna, I got to say, this is interesting. This cable industry has been ripe for consolidation. The hugest players involved are all getting together, whether it's AT&T, DirecTV, and now this potential deal. How much of this is just part of the whole defensive play? You got to combine or do it forcefully at some point. How do you think this deal stands up to the other deals that are out there, and will it actually be good for consumers?
Well, Don, I think this deal actually ranks as one of the most transforming deals in the cable landscape. So we're talking about Charter not just acquiring Time Warner Cable, but also Bright House. If you put those entities together, you're looking at a company that's going to become the number 3 player in the U.S. pay TV landscape, assuming the AT&T acquisition of DirecTV goes through. Clearly this has major implications for consumers. I think you can expect the bigger company to be much more proactive in bringing to market advanced services. A lot of innovation. Charter is very well known for that. In terms of pricing, frankly, I don't know that you're going to see any immediate pricing benefits for consumers, but one thing is clear. They've talked about $800 million in annual run rate synergies, not even including programming costs. So over time, I can expect some of that benefits may ultimately, trickle down to consumers as well.
All right, so Tuna, it's estimated here that 1 out of every 6 households in America is going to be impacted in some way, shape, or form by this deal. Now, we talked a little bit about the consumer impact. This is also very much about broadband as well. That was one of the sticking points between why Comcast couldn't get its merger done here as well, right?
That's right, and I think that's why you see a little bit of hesitation in terms of the price action today. Having said that, I think they've put together a deal we think that doesn't quite nearly have anywhere the same level of concerns that Comcast Time Warner deal had, especially as you alluded to on the broadband side. The main focus, we think, for regulators here is going to be on the video side because the combined Charter, Time Warner Cable, and Bright House isn't going to have that kind of broadband, market power. Having said that, I think you can expect, the new company to be very, very innovative in kind of, as I indicated earlier, in kind of the broadband, packages, et cetera.
All right, so let's talk a little bit more about the broadband side, because that's an important part of this deal. It's not just about the wireline broadband, it's also about wireless fidelity, Wi-Fi. So how will internet subscribers overall, between that and the Wi-Fi, be impacted by this deal?
Well, I think wireless is becoming kind of the go-to, product right now. That's where I think, frankly, the future for the growth of the industry lies. I think, you heard a lot of talk about that on the call today with Charter and Time Warner. So you can expect the combined company to be much more proactive, kind of launching wireless fidelity Wi-Fi, offerings. I think what's been proven so far is that these offerings are enabling the cable providers to, in kind of terms of subscriber retention, acquisition, et cetera. I think particularly in the face of competition from over-the-top platforms like Netflix and Hulu. So you think of this deal somewhat of as kind of a defensive deal. On the one hand, they're playing for scale. On the other hand, they're trying to kind of, mitigate against any potential impact from cord cutting, down the road. They allow them to package services much more flexibly. They cover a much broader footprint. So I think this deal is going to really be a catalyst for additional wireless innovation. So
it sounds like a lot of this is about broadband. Wi-Fi is certainly out there, and we might, Tuna, see more hotspots pop up in the future. Tuna, thank you so much for joining us here. That's Tuna Amobi. He's a senior research analyst over at S&P Capital IQ. And thanks for watching The Tech Bet. I'm Dominic Chu. Have a great day.
Hey YouTube fans, I'm Landon Dowdy from CNBC. Thanks so much for checking out our channel. Here you'll find videos packed with all the info that you need to be smarter about your finances. Be sure and subscribe by clicking right here, and click on all the videos around me to see CNBC's original series Young Money, Tech Bet, Kramer's Mad Money, and all the latest from CNBC.